basic supplies that you're going to need, except for scissors. So there's some sewing needles, there's some pins and buttons, some tiny, fairly useless scissors, some thread, a needle threader, and a little paper tape measure. So, the thing about getting the dollar sewing kits is they come with a lot of really cheap needles and have a really wire loop through the eye of the needle. Put the thread through the loop, and then pull it through. Personal preference, I find 12 to 16 inches to be a pretty workable length for me. The longer you make it, the less you have to tie off, but the more likely it is to get tangled. So this is how I make a knot in the end. Really, any way you want to make a knot, I just wrap it around my finger and roll it off. Alright. Okay, so one of the things that I did spend a little more on are some pinking shears and some sewing shears. You can use really any kind of scissors, but pinking shears are really nice because they cut a zigzag, which will keep your fit completely over my feet. So I'm going to take and pin here at the bottom of my heel on each side. Basically, an inch and a half. You can measure it out if you like. So between an inch and a half to 2 inches, that'll give you enough room to fold the edge over and finish it. I get my handy dandy pinking shears here. Now, another thing I like to do so that I have a nice straight line across the bottom is fold it over and cut along the fold. And also, to make sure your pant legs are the same size, use that cutoff piece, line up the ends, and you'll have 2 pant legs that are the same length. Okay, once you've got them cut off, shears, these edges are going to fray. I'm just going to fold mine over one time. If you don't have pinking shears, you're going to want to fold them over twice so that that cut edge is inside and doesn't fray and give you little ratty ends to your pants. Once you've got it folded over, I'm going to throw some pins in there to hold it in place. Go all the way around. When I'm pinned, I'm just going to hold that center seam, double check that my pant legs are the same length and that they're even all the way across, which they are. If they weren't, I would just adjust the pins until everything comes out nice and even like that. And take your needle with your thread in it, make sure your end has got a nice big knot in it, and we're going to start off here at the center seam, and I'm just going to stab it through the inside of the hem of the pants, make sure that's anchored. Then I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to take a little bitty stitch right through both layers of fabric. Okay, I don't want to pull it too tight. I can get that pin out of there now. And I'm just going to keep going down the length. Okay, after you get that last little stitch in, what I like to do is just tie off to the first stitch. Let's make sure we have it nice and flat. Everything looks good. Check the inside or outside, as the case may be. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead, put your needle under your first stitch, take that running end, wrap it around your needle a couple of times, and then just pull the knot off right there. Okay, I can tuck that tail end underneath. And just cut it off. Alright. So that one's done. Looks good. See, it's nice and even. And we can work on the next one. Okay, when they're both hemmed up, you're going to take your pants and turn them back right side out. Now, if you've got access to an iron, you can lay your pants nice and flat and iron that edge to make it nice and sharp. A little crease on there. It'll look very professional when you go out. So there you go, hemmed